We are back for another wonderful session of truth. The gods, they must be crazy. Well, it's an interesting story, isn't it? And to some extent, in some respects, you might think this is not real. You might want to question stuff, sure. It's a summarized version. I don't have 10,000 hours to go through every detail. Although a book would be in order. But this is the video version. We got some summarization of really wacky stuff. Now, I never asked, some people would ask, why is this happening to me, right? Something terrible happens, right? And they think, why is this happening to me? I never asked that. That's the natural thing to do. A lot of people would question that. A lot of people would go to their temple or church and say, why me? Or what is the lesson? I think we talked about that last time. And my simple answer is there's no lesson. These are sick people. And in some points, in the early part of this, I'm laughing because it's true. And in the early part of this, I used to, I might have done something that would be considered, provocation. And then they did something, and then I would think, okay, well, I provoked that. But you can only rationalize a provocation so far. When I file a complaint against Starbucks employees who are sexually harassing me, that's a valid complaint. Now, you sabotaged my car. Did I provoke it? Or did you go too far? A crime is a crime. An RCMP officer told me that. A crime is a crime. There's no justification. If you kill somebody because they made you upset, you're still going to go to jail for murder. So sabotaging my vehicle, sure, you don't like it when the Starbucks employees get into trouble, but you've committed a crime. Now you should deal with the crime. The crime's now you have to deal with it because you went a little too far. I think if you see all of this, they've gone a little too far. And the sad part for me, or the challenge for me is trying to stop this behavior. And that's basically, that's basically what I've been trying to do. Filing a complaint is an act of trying to stop the behavior. Calling the police is an act of trying to stop the behavior. Taking people to court is trying to stop the behavior. What happens is when I do something to stop the behavior, they double down and they just go nuts. They don't have they have no reasoning. They have no morals, no ethics, right? They have no empathy. They never think maybe I'm wrong. They will never think that. Andy, I'm sure, has never, in his life, he's never said, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I went too far. He's never said that because in his mind, he's right. He's a narcissist. Narcissists are never wrong. Sociopaths are never wrong. This is the issue. Again, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I have to analyze it from kind of a psychological perspective. None of these people have the ability to admit they are wrong or that they are the cause, right? or that they're doing something wrong, or they're doing things that are criminal, and they've been doing it over and over again for 10 years. Not for 1 year. This is not like a one incident. This is not like a series of incidents. This is 10 years of hundreds and thousands of incidents. It's 10, if we count the year before the police, it's 11 years. Nobody says maybe that's enough. No one says, hey, that's enough. No one says that. Not even the police. We're going to talk about the police. This is going to be a heavy discussion about what the police did. You thought, well, the police never helped me. They never investigated the crimes. They never held those accountable, never arrested anybody. And they abused me. They harassed me. They discriminated. They threatened to arrest me. But that wasn't enough. There's more. Nobody, these are, a narcissist, a sociopath, a psychotic. A psychotic person does not understand that they are wrong. We're not talking about a bad marriage here. Like if this was a marriage, I probably wouldn't be talking about it, because marriage is a personal thing, and I would be in a relationship, and then I would have done things, and she would have done things. And that would go, if there was a bad, that would go to the courts, right? Go to the lawyers. But the thing is about marriage is that there's two people who know each other, right? And who have both done things. And it's it's a relationship. And there may be, children involved, there's investments involved, there's money, there's history. This situation is, just to refresh, these are people I do not know. I do not know any of these people. I've never met them. I've never even had a dinner with any of them. There's no social occasion. There's no personal relationship. There's no associate. There's no friend of mine that knows them. There's nothing. There's no history. These people just decided, because they believe things, that they have to destroy me. Now, at first you might think, okay, well, he believed you're a serial killer and a pedophile, and he wanted to stop you. He wanted to tell everybody, even though he had no evidence. He had no evidence. Maybe I said something, but that's not evidence. That's not evidence. You can't come to that conclusion. Second of all, it's none of your business. It's none of your business what I do with my life, unless you're a vigilante, right? But if you're a vigilante, it's a good way to describe these people, Andy and his friends are best described as vigilantes. The problem is, again, I've not done anything. They believe I did something. They believe I will do something. But you can't kill people and destroy their lives just because you believe things, can you? That's what the mental institution is for. That's the people there. They believe things that don't exist. There was a story I read in a case study where this 18-year-old kid, he went out of the house and he obtained a gun, and he came back and he killed his whole family. This is in Canada. 6 people he shot. He shot. This is a sick person. He came home and he shot all his family members. He killed them. And then, he pleaded insanity. He's in a mental institution. He's been there for 10 or 12 years. No reason. Wait. There is a reason. He believed that they're evil. He believed they're demons. So he murdered his entire family. He's not a vigilante, but he thinks he's a hero. He thinks he did something good. He heard a voice in his head that said, you got to murder your whole family. He's in a mental institution because he's crazy. It's illogical. So to me, the mentally disturbed, they're illogical. They believe things that don't exist, and then they act on it. The issue is they act on those beliefs. So like schizophrenia, you have a belief, it's not true, but you act on it, right? You believe your wife is cheating on you, so you kill your wife, even though she's not cheating on you. But that's the belief. So the schizophrenics, they act on their delusions. It's the only way to. That's the definition of somebody who is not mentally correct. So you have a situation here where I don't know people. I've never done anything to them. I've not committed the crimes they've alleged. Why are you trying to kill me? I don't know. They're not doing, a lot of it now was not overt, right? They didn't come in there and just shoot. If you do that, then you're going to get caught. You're going to go to jail. So they sabotage my vehicle. Make it look like an accident. The police, they're not very smart. They'll never figure out. They'll say, well, he was lacking, there was not enough brake fluid and the car crashed, right? So they'll say it's an accident. The brakes failed, right? The police report say the brakes failed, Tosin's dead, move on. But they would never realize somebody siphoned the brake fluid out of my fucking car. So they've been doing a lot of this stuff. There's about 10 assassination attempts. One time I was at the theater and there's a couple of guys who recognized me. They came after me. They followed me into the bathroom. They had a knife, right? So I knew there was another guy. He was on point. He was watching the bathroom. Two guys came in. They had a knife. They were going to cut me. Were they going to kill me, but were they going to stab me? It's usually when you have a knife, you're going to stab somebody, and they wanted to get me. They were Andy's friends. So I went into the bathroom. I realized if I go to the urinal, I'm going to get stabbed. And they're not going to catch him, and I'm going to get hurt. I can get killed. But I'm in the bathroom. And I've lost all the urge to take a piss. I was going to take a piss. So I lost all the urge to take a piss, right? If somebody's going to stab you. Now, I can't attack them because then I'm the aggressor. I don't know, right? They're hiding the knife. I saw the knife. They're hiding it. Okay. So I went into the one of the stalls. I went into the stall. So I waited till they came in, and then I made sure they saw me go into the stall. I went into the stall, and then I turned around, right? I turned around facing out, and I'm ready for them to come in. and I'm ready to do whatever I have to do. Right? I didn't have a knife, so rip his eyes out, whatever. Right? And I can see their feet. They're going, oh. And my feet are facing out, but I don't know, I could be sitting down. Then what happens, more people came in. I flushed the toilet, and I came out. Now there's too many people in here, they can't do anything. So I gave them a look and I said, too bad. Right? The criminal will never do anything if they'll get caught. That's the definition of a criminal. They're cowards. Criminals are cowards. Every criminal is a coward because they don't want to get caught. They will only commit a crime if they won't get caught, or there's a good chance they won't get caught. So they've figured out all of their exits. They got all their alibis. They got their witnesses to cover, right? They got the people there, they're going to lie to the police, right? If they got all the angles covered, they'll commit the crime and they get away with it. And this is clearly evident in what happened with Starbucks employees. They trashed my reputation, sexually harassed me, and they got away with it because they lied to the boss, they lied to the police, they lied to the tribunal. They all came from Andy and his network. They told him what to say, told him how to act. Play the victim. Tell him you're afraid. Tell him you're uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable. But don't tell him that you went to his table and used to ask him questions and you had a crush on him. Don't tell him all that. Don't tell him how nice you were and how friendly conversations you had with him, because then they get the wrong idea. So play that down and just tell the police he's basically stalking me, and the police, they're gonna go after the guy. The police don't like stalkers. It's all a machination, isn't it? And that's fine. They won. I don't care. It's over. I did my best to explain it. I did my best to. I presented my arguments. I presented my evidence. I lost. I'm working against professionals, and I'm working with the corrupt police system, and a tribunal that's going to protect women. The decision maker at the tribunal was a woman, and she's an obvious radical feminist. And in the decision, if you ever read the decision, she called me a misogynist. That's in the decision. Like she said, she trashed all my evidence, she trashed all my arguments, she completely sided with Starbucks, and that would have been enough to win, for the dismissal. She went a step further. She said, she called me a misogynist. A misogynist is a man who hates women. She said, yeah, because the Starbucks said, I'm making all these complaints because I hate women, and I expect a certain behavior from women, and that I'm a misogynist. And the tribunal member who decided, right? She's a lawyer. She agreed. She says, yeah, you obviously hate women and you expect things from women. I don't expect things from women. I mean, I expect them not to sexually harass me and call me a pedophile and tell everybody I'm a serial killer. Yeah, I expect them not to do that. I expect women who work at Starbucks to serve a coffee that's hot and not cold, and not to ignore my orders and not to turn their backs on me when I come in. Right? Yeah, I expect basic level of human decency. That doesn't make me a misogynist. So the whole thing is a concoction. And that's fine. I mean, I lost. But, you don't have to kind of pour salt on my wounds and call me a misogynist. Because that would be discriminatory, wouldn't it? And I tried to file a petition. The judge wouldn't let me file a petition. He said it would fail. So he wouldn't let me file. I'm not, what bothers me is the misogynistic comments, because those aren't necessary. What bothers me is there's a police report says I'm stalking this girl, and I'm not, because she made it up. And you can't make up stuff, because that would be a violation of the law. So, the funny thing happened with my car. There's about 10 assassination attempts that I counted. And these are like serious, I could die attempts. There are many other incidents which I avoided. So there's, who knows, 20, 30 incidents where I avoided a situation, or I avoided going to a certain place so that nothing happened. So there's a lot of that, which I didn't include. I don't include those because nothing happened, or I minimized it, and it was avoided. But there was one, so this is going on, right? We've got 2018, 2019. I'm trying to move on with my life. Let's fast forward now. Before we get to the police, I want to fast forward to 2024, which is last year, in May 30. So in May 30, one of my neighbors says, your front tire is damaged. I take care of my car. I look after my vehicles. I inspect them all the time. It's just I'm an aficionado, an automotive aficionado. I respect vehicles. I look after them. And the vehicle always looks after me. If you take care of your car works better, lasts longer. But I was surprised. I said, well, show me. And he showed me. So on my right front tire, I think we'll put an image. On the right front tire, you can see there's a gouge. Now this I noticed in May 30, so I don't know when it was done, but it would have been done sometime in late May. There's a gouge in the tire, and there's also a slash. There's like a 20-inch. It's a long slice in rubber. Now, tire rubber, for those who don't know, tire rubber is very hard. You can't cut it. If you take a knife, you can't cut it, right? You might damage it, but it won't cut. So there's a 20-inch slash, and it's consistent. And you don't hit anything that's gonna do that. I don't hit things. I don't even park near the curb. And somebody cut that. So there's two. What I'm saying is there's a gouge. The gouge. So normally what happens is, because I'll show you the next thing that happened. So you gouge the tire, and I'm on the highway at 100 kilometers an hour, right? 70, 80 miles an hour. The tire is going to explode, right? Because you've got to put a hole in the tire. So I'm just speculating. I don't know, but I think that the first gouge didn't blow the tire. So then they tried to cut the tire. And then that didn't blow, or I caught it because my neighbor told me. Right, he probably saved my life. So that's the front tire. Now, okay, so the tire's damaged. So now I go to the shop, the tire shop. I say I need another tire. I don't have much money, right? These people have cost me over $100,000. I work minimum wage. Do the math. I've been fired 3 times, evicted 3 times. There's a huge amount of loss of money, loss of income, loss of dental benefits. So I say, I can't afford 2 tires. They give me 1 tire. So, okay, well, they don't want to do that, but they'll give me a new tire, but then they have to put it on the back. Just put it on the rear, because in the front, it may be uneven, right? It may affect your steering. So they swapped the rear tire in the front and the new tire in the right rear. So it's brand new. Okay, brand new tire. Over 300 bucks. So that's fine. Okay, it cost me another 300 bucks. So then I'm driving, and on June 30th, so that was May 30th, June 30th, so 1 month later, 1 month, my tire's been slashed twice. I'm driving on the highway, and I hear this boom. Something explodes in the right rear. My car is like, and I lost control. I'm 100 kilometers an hour on the highway. There are trucks going by. There's a guy behind me. He wants to pass, right? People want to pass. They don't want to follow you. My car is out of control. I've completely lost the right tire. And now, I almost lost my life because I smashed. I'm at the barrier, so I almost hit the barrier and would have flipped. And then I slowed down, but then the guy behind me almost clipped me. And then I had to turn. I'm not thinking, like, I have to get off this highway. And I got trucks going 120 clicks an hour, right? And the trucks are very heavy, 6,000, 20,000 pounds. They're gonna destroy me in my car. So I got the guy behind me. I got trucks coming by. I'm slowing right down because I've lost control. Anyway, I move over. I nearly get wiped by a truck. The other guy's pissed off, and then I immediately pull over to the side and stop. So I go to the back, and the tire's completely blown. You can see the image. It's completely exploded. The tire exploded. Now, if that was the original tire, these are good tires. These are performance tires. They're very expensive. If that was the original tire, because the tires, they're a year or two old. They're 22. They're about almost 2 years old. 2 years. I mean, they're warranted for 6 years or 80,000 kilometers. And I probably at the time, the mechanic said there was 25,000 kilometers. So they're in good shape. So even if that was the original tire, it still was in pretty good shape. But you and I know that 30 days ago, I put a brand new tire on it, and I've been driving with it, and it's by the shop, and it's warranted, it's guaranteed, it's brand new. Why did it explode? Now, if you do the math, there's a gouge, there's a slash, and then those didn't work. So somebody says, hey, why don't you try this? And whatever they did, it probably doesn't take much, right? So I believe somebody sabotaged my tire because it's a new tire. It's brand new. But they didn't know that, see? They didn't know it was brand new. Because if they knew I replaced the tire, right? I replaced the front, I would have replaced the front tire. But in fact, the new tire went on the back. You understand my point? Just to make sure, some people don't get it. If they sabotaged the front right tire and it blew, then it would have been a new tire, and then it would be suspect. So they sabotaged the right rear, right? Which actually turned out to be new. So that to me was a good evidence that somebody sabotaged it. Can I prove it? Do I have the video? No. The police will say, do you have the video of the guy sabotaging your tire? I don't have it. But it's a brand new tire. How many brand new tires explode? In all of my years of driving, I've never had a tire explode. Never. And I've driven fast, slow, all kinds of weather. I've driven old tires, new tires, right? I've had many cars. I've had over 30 vehicles in my life. I have never had a tire explode, so. I've also not had people sabotage my tire 3 times. 3 times the charm. So the tire was $300, and then later I found that the tire explosion blew the shock. So it blew the shock, and then you got to change both shocks. So that's another $1,300. So that was $1,600 plus the $300 from a month before. So that's $2,000. This is where my money's going. Another time they busted into my truck, and I should tell you about this one. 2021, May. I think it was May 2020. Yeah, 2021 and 2022. I have it written somewhere. They busted into my truck was parked on the road next to my building, and they busted the window. But get this, they busted the window. We'll put a picture up. They busted the window in the back, and then they did some damage to the molding. Anyway, it was $2,500. $2,500 of damage. And when I went there, when I opened the passenger door, I found that the glove box was open, and on the seat were my insurance papers. Okay. I find this funny. The guy took out my insurance papers. So there's 2 pages. The one page is your basic policy, and on the second page are the details, right? And the deductibles. So the first page is like a general, second page is the detail. The second page was put on top of the first page. You have to do that because the sheets are together. So the second page was put on top of the first page. And on there, I had comprehensive coverage. In Canada, it's called comprehensive coverage. It covers broken windows, damage to the vehicle. Right? So the guy not only smashed the window, but he went to the glove box, right? And he pulled out the insurance paper, and he pulled out the second page, and he says, look, you're covered under insurance. $2,500 damage. I mean, I had to pay, that's another $300 deductible. There was another incident. They smashed my steering column and did some other damage. That was another $2,000 damage. I mean, but it's another $300 deductible. Right? I mean, they've done $10,000 of damage to my vehicle. Can I prove it? No, I don't have the video. But it's obvious the guy who smashed it, when you smash it, the alarm is going off. You want to run away. You're not going to go to the front, the passenger seat, and take out the fucking insurance papers. Unless you're one of Andy's friends. It says, oh, by the way, you got coverage. And it was probably in a response to something happened, and they busted my window. So it's constant. That's not life-threatening, but that's constant. The tire is dangerous. The brakes are dangerous. I don't think anybody deserves this kind of abuse and attacks. I don't think I'm not a perfect person. Let's just be clear about that. I'm not perfect. I don't really care. I think compared to a lot of people, I'm pretty decent. Because I know some people have done some pretty bad things. Even if I was a bad person, it's none of your business to go out and try to kill me, right? Even if I was a bad person, even if I had gone to jail for something, you can't go out and try to kill me unless you're sick. And if you're sick, you need to see a psychiatrist. You need help, don't you? You need help. I don't know what kind of help. So we've gone through what organized crime did. They used to come to my house. Two guys would come to my house, park outside the driveway for about 45 minutes. I'd go to the coffee shop. The guys would come in and would sit across from me. They wouldn't order anything to drink or eat. They would just sit there. And they wouldn't even look at me. They would just sit there, So they used to come to the coffee shop. That would change coffee shops, I used to go to Tim Hortons or Blends. Blends is another coffee shop. They'd show up. Starbucks, they did that, but not as much. And then when I went home, so after the coffee shop, when I went home, a car would come to my place and sit outside my place. And two guys would be there. When I went to the park, because I used to go to the park, I'd train or exercise at the park, or I meditate, or I make a video. A vehicle would come to the park, and if this is the parking lot, the car would be parked like this, right? It would be parked at an angle. It would sometimes park right in front of my car, so I couldn't leave. One time they had a machine gun. These guys had a machine gun. And this guy was walking his dog, and he saw these guys with the machine gun, and he took off. He ran. I couldn't leave because they were blocking my vehicle. I had to wait for them to go. I started my car and I went forward, and they finally left. But they had a weapon. So I counted all of those what I call them points of harassment or attacks. Okay, we're not including all the assassination stuff, but these points of harassment: following me around, spying, stalking, threatening me, all this stuff. And I estimated 2,500. Okay, I estimate 2,500. I call them intercepts because there's many different kinds, but they all involve gang members. So it's 2,500 over 10 years. Okay, so that's coming from organized crime. And that's a conservative, okay, that's conservative. That doesn't include a lot of stuff that happened that I couldn't quantify. There's a lot of stuff you can't quantify. This is what I can quantify. It was real. The guys were there. Click. Smash my window. Click. Follow me around. Click. Came to the park. Click. They used to come every day. I used to go to the coffee shop every day, so they were there every day. So 2,500 intercepts. I call them intercepts. And I told the police this, which they don't believe. Now, so we're gonna put that there. This is organized crime, and we're gonna shift over to the police because now that's a lot. And the police have done nothing but protect them. Basically, encourage them. Yeah, you're sponsoring all this stuff. They didn't do anything to stop them. Now, the police, if that was not enough, and if the police didn't abuse me enough, what happened was, I got to read some of my notes here. I was working at Save On Foods, big grocery store, big company. And so the voyeur videos were being circulated at my store. My colleagues, there were about 10 or 12 colleagues who were watching the masturbation videos. Okay. And they were all doing secretly. And I called them out. And their faces went red. But they kept doing it, so I filed a complaint. I filed a formal complaint. It was investigated, they all denied it. So they had this circle of silence, right? And again, that comes from coaching from the gang members. This is what you say. So they denied it. If you deny it, they can't move forward. So it became very stressful for me because my colleagues are watching me ejaculate. They're watching me defecate. They're watching me in my home, my privacy of my own place. So this is now 4 years later. They're still coming back. So they don't get into trouble. But I've dealt with it with Starbucks, and I say, okay, I can't do anything about it. I'm not gonna go to the next level because it's a lot of work and it doesn't get anywhere. I'm not gonna attack anybody because maybe they're lonely and maybe some of them are gay and they're in love with me. So, and that year, so that was 2023. And at the time, what I didn't know, at the time there was an undercover police officer in my department. He didn't know that the videos were being circulated. They kept it secret, right? And he doesn't want to expose himself. So I didn't know at the time. There's an undercover police officer in my department. This leads into the next part. So it's 2023, yeah, the beginning of 2023. So the voyeur videos are in circulation. And then later I found out some of my colleagues were spying on me for the police. I don't know why, right? But they were spying on me for the police. Now they're watching the voyeur videos, which is a crime. They're committing a crime. And they're also cooperating with the police. But they have not told the police that they're watching these videos, right? They've kept that secret. Later they got caught, but at the time, they're committing a crime. At the same time, they're working for the cops. They're both cop and criminal. In June of 23, I go to the office and there's an undercover police officer. Now, if you don't know that, they look like a normal person. They're dressed in civilian clothes. But he had been working at Starbucks. He was working at Starbucks for many years. So I know, and he dressed a certain way, which I won't describe, but he dressed a certain way. And he's a very distinctive person. So he was there in my office talking to my bosses, my managers. So I'm thinking, what's going on? I confronted my boss, and they said nothing. They denied it, right? Nothing. No, nothing. Was that a cop? No. So something is up. Okay, now think about it. Just think about it. I've dealt with organized crime for years. They've destroyed my life, my reputation. I got these masturbation videos out there. My name's been fucking tanked. My writing career's been sloshed. People think I've got problems. People probably think I'm addicted to jerking off. Because that's all you're showing. You're not showing, it's just 24 hours in a day. They think that's all I do. So now there's the police. This is 2023. This is June, July. Two of my bosses, they go to the police station. I'm thinking, why go to the police station? Right? The only reason you go to the police station is if you want to show them something that's confidential. Again, I'm speculating. I don't have all the facts, but, I know what's going on now, and this is my suspicion. They've gone there to see video. They're not going to show them video of me jerking off because that's not a crime. Jerking off is not a crime, in case you didn't know that. But why are they showing them the video? And second of all, the police told me there's no video. I got police documents that says there's no video. This guy's delusional. He's made it all up. When did the police get the video? And why didn't they call me? Why didn't the police call me that they have the video, which I've been asking them about for years, and they've threatened to arrest me. If I called them again over the video, they said, you're going to be arrested. So my bosses now are shown something that the police believe is incriminating, but I've not done anything. To my knowledge, I've not done anything at home that's incriminating. I might have said something that's strange, yeah. But that's not a crime, right? And it's protected under self-expression. It's protected under the charter. If I said something, if the character in a dialogue said something, it's protected anyway. You can't take it out of context, right? But you have the video. So now my bosses are acting strange. I'm saying, what's going on? Now they're lying. They're lying. And I know something's up because I saw the undercover police officer with my boss. And then she denied that. And then there's another. You see how much stress it is to go to work? There's an undercover cop in my department. Holy mackerel. Man, I don't know what's going on. I have not committed any. I've tried, I've tried to eliminate any action that would provoke anything, right? I don't go to the coffee shops as much. I'm careful what I say to people so that they don't get offended. I've become very, I've kind of pulled back. I'm not myself because they're just going to twist it and say something, and people are just going to be convinced that I am a terrible person. So I'm doing nothing. Meanwhile, there's a full-bore operation going on. Like, when you talk about provocation, I'm not provoking anyone. I'm not doing anything. Right? I'm definitely staying away from young people. Young people, if you're young, I'm like, don't come near me. And a lot of my younger colleagues, they're avoiding me. My younger colleagues are like blatantly. I can't even ask them for a task. They're completely avoiding me. And some would say, "Don't talk to me." Something's going on. This is what's going on. So the police have the video, right? They have something. Well, they have the video. Where did they get it from? Somebody, whoever gave them that video, they got it from somebody, and they'd be able to figure out. They'll be able to figure out who the criminals are, right? Why aren't they investigating? Why are they investigating me? What did I say? I don't know. I've not been charged. There's no charge. There's no crime. You can't commit a crime by saying something. And I've not done anything in my house that's criminal, to my knowledge. But you got voyeur videos, which is a crime. You should investigate the videos. This is my rationale. So I don't know what's going on. It's all secret. Now the police are being secretive. The police abused me and threatened to arrest me if I continued to make those allegations. Fast forward several years, the police now have the evidence to support my allegations, which means everything I said is true. And now they're being secretive about it. And now they're coming after me. You understand how I feel. You can't win. You can't win. You don't have enough evidence. Well, now you have the evidence. Shouldn't you say, hey, we got the evidence, we're investigating? No, they're coming after me. So there's something covert going on. The managers are involved. I can't. They've lied to me, so I can't get anything. I don't know what they're doing. You got these fake smiles. I got to go to work. I work a minimum wage. Minimum wage. Like how much stress. It's like a police operation, police surveillance. I'm noticing, so as the months go on, I'm noticing more and more undercover cops, which I used to see at Starbucks. I'm noticing more and more. There's so many of them, it's just blatantly obvious. Some of them would approach me, come up to me. So in September, there's a huge operation. There's like 20 cops. And there's the undercover cop that I'm familiar with, and he's walking around with his fake daughter, this 14-year-old girl. And they're in my department for an hour, Something's going on. There's another woman there who's got a baby carriage. I'm sure they're filming it. I didn't commit a crime. So there's an operation. It's some kind of sting operation. It's big. It's obvious. It's big. It's stressing me out. But this is my workplace. Now, why is that relevant? It's because under the charter, the workplace is protected. I think it's Section 6. Your workplace is protected under the charter. You cannot interfere with my work, right? It's also protected under the Human Rights Code. You cannot affect a person's employment under these characteristics. And under the Human Rights Code, it's also protected if you are I can't remember what's the wording of it. If you had committed an offense, you cannot hold the offense against the person at the workplace in employment, right? If I was an offender, if I was what do you call it? A criminal. If I'd gone to jail or something, right? What do you call that? Convicted. If I was a convicted criminal and had a job, you cannot affect my employment for that reason, right? But these people are treating me like a convicted criminal, right? The police, the management, they're after me. It's like it's like I committed a crime, but I've not committed a crime. It's all very confusing. So they're violating the law. What I'm saying, they're violating the Human Rights Code. Is I got protection, and under the charter, my employment is protected. They can't get me fired, and they're going to get me fired. They're trying to get me fired because if I'm convicted of a crime at work, right? If the police were to arrest me at the workplace, at my minimum wage job, I want to be very clear, my minimum wage job, how much stress I have to deal with. If the police, whatever, they set me up, and they arrest me, I can get fired from my job because I've committed a crime at work. So I'm in trouble here because, first of all, I don't want to be arrested. Second of all, I have no idea what I did. Obviously, it's something sexual or sex-based. And then I get arrested. If I get arrested, I'm gonna get fired. It's a union job. You get fired, and I won't be able to get my job back, my minimum wage job, and I'd been there a couple of years. But the other thing is I don't know what it is. So I don't know. I'm afraid to do anything because I don't know what they're looking for. It's some kind of they're going to set me up somehow. So I don't look at anybody. Don't do anything. Look at the ground. There's people everywhere. I could feel it. I mean, as a very sensitive person, as a shaman, I can feel there's like a lot of attention on me. So there's an operation, and whatever following that, it was like a week or two, but there was some heavy days. I wasn't arrested. Yay! Yippee! I didn't commit a crime. You have to commit a fucking crime. I heard them later. The police came to my work, and I heard them in the office. They said, well, we can't arrest them. This is a couple of months later. They said, well, we can't arrest him because he hasn't committed a crime. He was sad. The police was sad about it. So then my management now feels better because although they think I'm a terrible person, I'm some kind of suspect working there, but they can't fire me. So then the guys, because they were ready to fire me. My bosses were ready to fire me. You understand my situation? If you put all the other stuff in context, this is the police now. This is not organized crime. They're gonna arrest me. If I get arrested, I get fired, and I'm fucked. I don't even know what it's about. I mean, I have no defense. I can't afford a defense. But all of this is just coming out of nowhere because I thought, gee, that's enough. I've had enough already. I'm trying to move on. Every 6 months, I'm trying to move on. I'm reinventing. I'm trying to move forward, trying to put the past behind me. And they just keep attacking. They just keep trying to destroy me. They keep trying to kill me. And now I got the goddamn fucking undercover police trying to arrest me for no reason at all. Oh, wait a minute. Do you guys remember those voyeur videos? You thought it wasn't that important. Somebody broke into my house and planted hidden cameras and captured all of those sexual, obscene, explicit those videos and some other stuff, and me talking to myself. Well, that's a crime. And the police have the video, and they're using the video to arrest me, but they didn't arrest me. So they have the video that proves somebody broke into my house multiple times, planted a hidden camera, and it proves it's connected to organized crime. I'm thinking, hey, we got something here. Why don't they investigate that? Or wait a minute, let me be even more conspiratorial. Think about it. Think about it. Andy and his friends, they want to destroy my life. They haven't been able to do it. They want to kill me. They haven't been able to do it. I mean, they've done a lot of damage. It costs a lot of money. But what are they doing here? Why don't we give these video clips to our corrupt police officer who we control, and we're going to incriminate Paris, and we're going to get the police to fucking arrest him. Ooh, pretty smart, Andy. Andy's pretty fucking smart, isn't he? He can't do it. Now he's going to manipulate the police. He manipulated Starbucks. Sophie. She came after me. I got kicked out of Starbucks because of Andy. That's Andy. My house got broken into. That's Andy and Brian. They've sloshed all my videos around. People all can see me ejaculating. And that's not enough. So they found something. What I'm saying is that I don't know, but they must have found something I said at home, in the privacy of my own home, that was recorded on the break-ins, which would make a criminal evidence. It would be criminal evidence. It would be inadmissible in court. It would be inadmissible in court because it's obtained by break-in by organized crime. They get those videos, those clips, to the fucking police, to a corrupt police officer who then takes it to the investigator and says, look what I happened to find through my sources. Right? The investigator, sergeant, says, oh, this is interesting. What Mr. Tosin said, let me take it to another sergeant. They said, oh, this is criminal. He's a sex offender. He's a serial killer. He's going to kill somebody. I'm trying to act out. I'm trying to simulate what might have happened. Simulation. Because the police also wiretapped my phone. To wiretap my phone, they have to go to the court. They go to the court. I had to go to the court. Judge, this guy is a criminal, we need permission to wiretap his phone. Do you have any proof? I got this video. See what he says here? The judge approves it. Sympathetic judge. He didn't say, where the fuck did you get the video from? Oh, we got it from organized crime. They're helping us out. The organized crime is helping us out. They're giving us everything to destroy this guy, and it's total coincidence. It's a total coincidence, Judge. Total coincidence. They're not trying to do anything. They're just being neutral. They're being very objective. They're being very objective. They've been trying to kill the guy. They've destroyed his life. They got him fired. They got him evicted, but they just want to now get him arrested. They want to use us, Judge. Judge, they want to use us, the police, to arrest Mr. Tosin. Using falsified evidence, criminal evidence, evidence obtained by a crime is inadmissible in court. So the sergeant says, I can't use this evidence in court. Maybe the judge says, oh, you can't use this evidence in court, Sergeant. I understand that, Judge. You'll have to get some real evidence. Okay. We're going to put a sting operation at his workplace, get him fired from his job, and arrest him. We're going to dangle a 14-year-old pussy right in front of his face and see if he licks it. If he licks it, he will be arrested. How many people are fucking trying to destroy my fucking life? The cops now are working for organized crime. Andy's poodle. The poodles. Jesus Christ, can I just live my life? You know, can I just live with a little peace? For fuck's sakes, I'm just trying to live my life. I can't, nobody wants to talk to me. I got no fucking friends here because they all think I masturbate all the time or I want to kill somebody. They don't think I'm a good person. I'm a creep. I'm a pervert. I've never dealt with this before. I grew up in Vancouver. We don't have so many crazy people in Vancouver. I mean, we have some, but not this fucking nuts. These are fucking nuts. Now the police are they're off the ranch. They're completely... If I wrote this movie, nobody would believe it. The fucking police are way out of fucking touch with reality, or they're completely corrupt. These are corrupt cops. I mean, maybe Andy's paying them money. Here's $100,000. I want you to get rid of this guy. Okay. Give me another 50 and I'll do it. You're either incompetent, stupid, or corrupt. Because it's against the law. And it's against the charter. And it's against the human rights. And it's against human decency. And it's against ethics, the code of conduct. It's against the fucking code of conduct to abuse your fucking power. Misconduct, gross misconduct, abuse of power. That's against the RCMP Act. The Police Act. You have to behave responsibly. You have to treat people with respect. You have to validate people's rights, protect their rights. You can't violate people's rights indiscriminately. You can't fucking go to the judge with fucking criminal evidence that the organized crime just gave you. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I think I am, because they're doing it. Of course I'm wrong. It's taken me years to figure all this stuff out. I got my colleagues who are committing a crime at the same time they're spying on me for the cops. I got an undercover cop in my department. I mean, I think overall, the police spent about $5 or $6 million on surveillance, wiretaps, surveillance operation, multiple sting operations, undercover operation, from maybe 2022 to 2025, 3 years. Now, out of all the operations, I figure there's about 1,500 operations. 1,500, because some of them were daily, sometimes 2-3 times a day there would be cops coming in, and I was like a rotating shift. 1,500 operations in 3 years. Police. This is the police. Now, how many did we say I had with the organized crime? Organized crime was 2,500. So what's that? 25 and 15, 4,000. 4,000 operations to destroy my fucking life. Is it reasonable? I don't think so. Even if I was a really bad person, even if I was a bad person and I beat up a few women and I stole some candy at the store, you still can't do all this fucking shit. You understand? You understand my point? Even I'm a bad person, you cannot do these things. And I'm not that person. So you're way out of bounds. You're way off the ranch. And these people, these cops, this is police. So you expect more from the police. Don't expect anything from the police. There's no police. The police are working for organized crime. So I'm thinking, no wonder they never arrested Andy and Brian, because they're fucking working for them. They're either sympathetic or they're corrupt. There's no other way to explain it. You have ignored all of my criminal allegations and criminal complaints for years, and you've threatened to arrest me. You've trashed my name. You've psychologically abused me. You told me I made everything up. Now you've got all the fucking evidence, and you're still not going after the fucking criminals. So all of these things are happening at the same time. I can't go in whatever now I'm doing. I don't know what the fuck to do sometimes, because they're going to look for a reason to, either the criminals are going to look for a reason to sabotage my car or kill me, or the police are going to look for a reason to arrest me, or my company's going to look for a reason to fire me because now they think I'm a criminal suspect, I'm a sex offender, or a serial killer. I just want to say again, these are all delusions. None of it is real. They believe it is real. Just like the 18-year-old went into the house and killed 6 people, and now he's in a mental institution because he believed that his family was evil when they were not. First of all, even if his family members were evil, you can't fucking kill them. You understand my point? Even if the guys, every individual member of his family was evil and abusive, you can't fucking kill them. It's against the law. Even I am a serial killer. You can't fucking kill me. If you have evidence, then you can arrest me. You have no fucking evidence. If you have no evidence, how can you say that how can you make the allegation? These are bald allegations. The whole thing is a meritless violation of the fucking human rights code, and it's a violation of the Canadian Charter, which you cannot violate. The police cannot violate the Charter. They're at my workplace. They're violating the Charter. Life, liberty, and the security of the person under Section 7 of the Charter. That's a violation. In the Section 24, if you present evidence that was obtained by a violation of the Charter, that it's inadmissible in court. There's everything there. In order to violate, you can violate the Charter, but you have to justify. It has to be justified. And you have to justify it to the court. You have to justify it to the judge. They cannot justify all of these fucking operations. They can justify maybe one. They can't justify the wiretapping. Whatever I said in the privacy of my own home is protected under the Charter, under Freedom of Expression, Section 2B. It's protected, which means you can't use it to justify a violation of the Charter. You understand my point? If what I said is protected under freedom of expression, you cannot use it to justify a police operation. what happens is what I said doesn't go beyond suspicion. Let's get technical. It doesn't go beyond suspicion. In order to justify a police operation, it has to go beyond suspicion. So you need something more. You need more pieces. Now, whatever the police put together is a fabrication. They fabricated it, they put their professional opinion, and they convinced a sympathetic judge. The judge is wrong. The judge was wrong. And they violated the charter. If you violate the charter, then I can ask for compensation from the police. The police owe me compensation because they repeatedly violated the charter. Under the Human Rights Code, they violated the code. I can ask for compensation. And I will. So, you see what's going on? They're violating. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm learning it because I have to. Otherwise, they're going to put me away. And it was a few months ago, somebody told me that they're going to arrest me, that they had fabricated a story to justify an arrest. I don't know exactly all the details, but they were going to arrest me, and they were preparing to arrest me. This is what my source told me. And since I don't know any of the stuff that's going on, and I'm not able to defend myself, because I can't defend myself if I don't know what's going on. So this is another way they operate. They put together stuff, you got no defense, and just grab them. So that's when I went to the Facebook. On Facebook, I was starting to post what I thought was happening in the pieces, and that there's no justification, that what I said is protected under freedom of expression, that they can't violate the charter. You know, I put all the legal stuff. And if you're taking voyeur video from organized crime, you are now enhancing the operations of organized crime. Anything you do for the benefit of organized crime is a crime. Section 467.11. It is a crime. The police are committing a crime in order to arrest me. The police are violating the charter in order to arrest me. So I put all this information on the Facebook post. It's a form of defense, because otherwise they were going to arrest me. And there was someone interceded, right? Someone says, wait a minute. What I'm saying, they're working the police are working every angle to put me away. I still don't know exactly what, but I think what I'm saying here is just some of those pieces, but there's other stuff they have. The organized crime is giving the police dirt. The organized crime, they've hacked my bank accounts. So they provided bank account information. I've also, I used to apply for payday loans to pay for things because I never had enough money, because I have to buy a new tire. I have to buy new shocks. I have to pay for the I have to take a payday loan. I mean, there's so much. I've already exhausted $100,000. I'm out of money. So I go to the payday loan, and the payday loan, you have to file documents, personal documents, identification, address, phone number, banking information. So I know at least one of the companies is a member of organized crime. So I think they provided my documents to Andy's people. And Andy's people then provided it to the police. Or the payday loan company said to Andy's people, we got this information, I think, we can do something with it. And then they said, okay, why don't you give it to the police? Give it to this police officer. Give it to this sergeant, right? Anyway, they're providing all kinds of stuff to the fucking police to have me incriminated. I'm not supposed to know this, but I know this. Okay, I'm not just a shaman as a kind of like a an advertising gimmick. I can know things that I'm not supposed to know. I can find out things that other people don't know. I've been doing this for 25 years. I can find out stuff that nobody knows. I can look at a police file without even going to the police station. So it all comes up as instinct, but it's pretty accurate. But that's the only way. The only reason I'm still here is because of my shamanic training. My shamanic training has kept me alive. And my friends who have provided information. Otherwise, I would be either dead or in jail, or both. It's crazy because I've still not done anything to justify all of this. Not to my knowledge. Again, even I sometimes I think I should just become a terrible person because I've already experienced the abuse a terrible person would get. And so, you know what? You've passed the test. This is harassment. This is bullying. This is persecution. The police now are persecuting me. The police are vigilant. They're acting like vigilante cops, right? They're trying to get... And when I would post something about the police on Facebook, they'd get more upset. Yeah. And when they see this, they might get more upset because I call them garbage. Because they are garbage. There's no good cop. I've never met an honest cop. I've met at least over a dozen police officers. None of them were honest. And the other ones I haven't met, they're trying to destroy my life. They are very dishonest. To this day, they will not go after organized crime. They will not go after the Starbucks employees who cooperated and conspired with organized crime, which is known, which is documented, which they've confessed to. It's a crime. Those Starbucks employees can be arrested for conspiracy. They can be arrested for association. Nothing. The police have the video. The police can go after those people who have the video. Who they got? Who'd you get it from? Who did you get it from? They can figure that out. Nothing, because the police have an arrangement with organized crime. I scratch your back, you scratch our back. Why don't we destroy Paris? Yeah. Because let's use all our resources to burn him down. Because he's one fucking guy, we don't like him. He's too smart. So, you see where I'm at. Eventually, I quit that job and moved. Well, I can't really work in that workplace with my boss. They think I'm a criminal. And my colleagues are watching me ejaculate. It doesn't feel good. So I quit, and I had to move because the place I was staying at a place is very small. It was like a little box, and there was a lot of travel, so I had to move to a bigger place. So, 4,000 intercepts in 10 years. That's like more than one a day, every day. Imagine that, every day of your life for 10 years, every day someone's trying to hurt you, destroy you, kill you, arrest you. No one's saying I love you. No one's taking you out for dinner. No one's giving you a hug. They want to kill you, stab you in the back, sabotage your car, say bad things behind your back, fabricate evidence to arrest you. The people who are supposed to protect you are trying to destroy you. Yeah. To serve and protect. There's no police. There's no police. I don't believe there is the police. It's an illusion. The police is an illusion. I will never trust the police. They don't really care anyway. So I would suggest to you, don't trust the police. And this is too much. It's way too much. And that's why I'm sharing it. I'm sharing it so that you guys know what I'm dealing with in case you want to know the story. Because what happens is some of you might see the video and say, oh, this is, oh my God. And then some of you might hear that I'm a serial killer, and some of you might hear that I did something to somebody, and somebody might hear that I got Sophie into trouble, right? But you don't know the whole story. So you're not sure what to believe, and a lot of stuff is fake, a lot of stuff is made up. A lot of people would say Paris is a bad guy, and they're going to make up stuff. They're going to embellish. I said, this is the story. Come here, tell them to watch these videos. And this is a pretty good encapsulation of what's going on from my perspective, from my opinion, from my belief, which the other side will not present, okay? If you ask the police, they're going to say it. I'm a terrible person. If you ask Andy or Brian or Sophie or any gang member or prostitute or child trafficker, right, drug dealer, they're going to say bad things about me. Oh, I heard about him. He's a bad guy. Fuck, yeah, he's a griller. He's a fucking masturbates. Fucking masturbates all the time, and he wants to kill people. I can just see it. I can just see it. People smoking marijuana. Oh, fuck that guy. He's fucking crazy. Tell them, watch these videos. I have to have a book. I guess I'm gonna have to publish a book because this is, the information is crazy. And all that, I've exhausted all the legal avenues. There's a lot of legal proceedings, and that makes people upset. But it's just, I can't stop it. I just want I can't stop it. Again, a few days ago, they're back at it again. It's a sickness. I believe, I'm not a psychiatrist, in my opinion, it's a sickness. It is a sickness. It's an undiagnosed sickness, and there's no medication for it. There is no medication. There's no medication to cure this sickness. These people are animals. That's what they are. They're animals. They belong in a zoo. So I think that should wrap up the summary. And there's a lot of information I'm not going to put in here because it's way too much. I think it should go in a book. If anything significant does happen, we'll talk about it now, because for years I didn't talk about it. For years I've tried to deal with it. I've always believed I can deal with it. I've always believed they're going to calm down. It never happened. But anyway, the damage is done. Okay, there's 11 years of damage to my life and my psyche, and it's been very stressful, and it's cost me a lot of money. And I'm not in a good situation now because I've been fighting these sick people. So the damage is done. I can't erase the videos. I didn't make any videos. I don't have a problem with jerking off. Everybody jerks off. 90. What was the statistic? 96% of people jerk off, masturbate, and the other 4% are liars. So if someone's saying this guy masturbates, says, "What about you? You fucking masturbate too, fuckface."